Open Road Infinity. Now in Langley.
Your work always tells a story. Let's have a close look.
Hey, close look. We're here at the Retro Gaming Expo here in New Westminster. Guys, how are you enjoying your day so far today?
It's great.
Okay, yeah.
What do you like about the station so far, and what excited you about coming down here today?
Well, I really like retro games, retro computing and stuff. So I've been here. This is my second year here. Nice. So I really enjoy it. Yeah.
Nice. And I guess walk me through why you're here at this station, and why is it such a sweet experience to kind of play the games on maybe the systems that they were built for?
Well, because you can't really afford these things at home. Like I can't buy one of these for my house, and there's no real point anymore. So it's fun to play this like on the original system. It's nice to it's nice to feel like how someone would have played it like 20 years ago whenever it was released.
Is there anything that you look forward to in particular coming up here, or even coming to the expo itself?
Just being able to play retro games that I don't have to buy them, like spend $100 on buying these things. Just play it here for 20 minutes. If I don't like it, well then it's not that bad.
Thank you very much, guys.
It's awesome games. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. We're gonna hear a talk to basically the guy behind this whole thing and how it all started. Yeah, how's it going? Just tell me a bit about how you came up with this idea, how long the Expo's been running for, and what does it mean to be here at the Anvil Center to expand the event?
So this is our 5th year. Originally, I went down to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo and thought, wow, this is really cool. We should have something like this here, and decided to run it here. And then we've been at the Columbia for the last 4 years. This is the first year that we're kind of leveling up and moving to Anvil. And it's been great. The response all day has been incredibly positive. All the vendors, all the attendees are saying we love the new venue. It's so much bigger, natural lighting, and yeah, it's more space, so there's more of everything.
Talk to me a bit about, I guess the so-called, we've been hearing the term a lot, the nerd culture here in Vancouver, and has it grown? Has it gotten better? Where is it now?
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, it's the nerd culture here. It's a thing. I mean, I also own Game Deals, and we sponsor a lot of the different nerd events that are happening in town, and there's quite a few of them. They're actually quite popular. So, we sponsor a lot of things down at EXP. We sponsor Fandom Feud, the Fictionals with the Improv Against Humanity, a bunch of other shows.
Nice. And how do you find that the community is outside of events like this, outside of the kind of the mega cons or the bigger things that Vancouver has to offer?
Well, the community's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, they're always coming out to all the smaller events and doing cool stuff.
Over the 5 years of planning this thing, I'm sure you have to have some kind of highlights and stuff like that. What moments kind of strike out to you in the run that you've kind of had so far?
There's been a lot of good moments. Yeah, a lot of good moments. But the biggest one is when getting really excited about them, right? Because it just shows that these games are going to last forever.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much for joining us today, and you've hit it out of the park yet again. Hope to see more of these, and we hope to be at more of these as well.
Cool. I'm pretty happy with this year's turnout. I'm going to look forward to 2017. So
sweet. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
So what brought you guys here today, and what's exciting you about this booth here so far, this the floor with Hackery?
Well, these are games I grew up playing, so coming here and seeing them again, it's kind of really cool because you don't see games this old anymore in the regular world, I guess.
Talk to me a bit about maybe playing them on the original system that they're intended for, and even with game pads that try to emulate the exact same thing, if not the exact same thing.
I never played this game before. It's pretty garbagey, but I'm playing it because my friends are here. But I don't know. I was in a race and now I'm stuck underwater and the race hasn't ended yet. So
that's new.
Yeah. And I don't know what's going on. So that's kind of weird.
friend here is really enthusiastic to be.
This is. What else excites you about coming down to the expo, and what do you look forward to throughout the day? You gonna visit any of the panels or go see what the vendors have?
Yeah, we were downstairs earlier. Had a lot of cool stuff down there. I think we're gonna check out like some of the trivia or the improv they have going on later. Yeah, and the tournament room's pretty cool. So.
Nice. Is this something that you engage in regularly? Like, do you go online and check out some of the gaming stuff that's offered on YouTube through their videos, or some of the tournaments that are?
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And is this your first year at the expo?
Yeah.
Nice. And would you come back?
Probably. Yeah, I think so.
Nice. Enjoy your gaming, guys. Thank you very much. Hey, Close Look, we're here with Jax from the Hackery. It's so nice to have you today, and walk us through a bit of what we're looking at here and what's going on.
Of course. So what we have here is a selection of computers dating back to about 1980 at the oldest, and nothing newer than 2001. So retro across the board. These are machines that people remember from schools, from home, from work, a bit of everything. But most of all, it's machines that had fun games on them. So we're trying to not only relive some memories here, but give a little nod to the hard work that went into developing these machines over the years. Because for all of the wonders of the modern age, we'd be nowhere if it weren't for the development that went into all of these classic games. And no matter how crude they look, they were one step closer to the modern marvels that surround us.
This is quite the collection. Talk to me about how long it took to curate all this.
Oh, that's a hard question. This is as many hobbies, I'm sure, started at a young age. The moment I got my first computer at 7 years old, I was hooked. It was an Apple IIe clone, so it was old even then, but for me, it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. I was drawn in, I was captivated. I couldn't believe that I had this piece of technology. And from there, much to the chagrin of my mother, it grew into a large house-filling collection. So the beauty of it is that while some people eventually have to sell off the collections and look to storage space, I turned it into a business. This is the more fun half of the day job, which is the Hackery. Computer repair in East Vancouver. Primarily modern, to be fair, but every so often we get something more interesting and more retro through the doors, and we're happy to do what we can to keep it running.
How often do you get to do something like this, where you get to kind of showcase these older systems and allow like a public to come in and try out something for nostalgia's sake, or even for the younger audiences to embrace something that they've never been in contact with before?
Well, at this stage, we only do a few a year, but we are considering how we can show them off a little bit more. It seems a shame to us to let these classics collect dust, so we love bringing them out to give them a chance to stretch their legs and to give the public a chance to look back at these machines.
Any chance of seeing a retro cafe anytime soon?
Well, you never know what might come up in the future. We'd certainly love the chance to show them off.
And lastly, what is your favorite system and or favorite game here today?
Oh, see, you're putting me in a hard position asking questions like that. To me, it's very personal. It's the machines I grew up with. I have a computer that I built myself out of ostensibly the wish list of 1999. All of the best components and all the catalogs that I had circled in the Christmas list. Now that they're at a more affordable price, I thought, why not? Let's put it together and run all of the stuff that at the time I couldn't afford or didn't have the processing power to do. So we have a beautiful Windows 98 machine here with an authentic Sony CRT monitor. We're running nothing less than Carmageddon 2 at the moment.
That's fantastic. Well, I hope you have a fantastic day here at the Retro Gaming Expo, and we hope to see a lot more of you as the year progresses.
Well, I hope the same. Have a very good day.
Thank you, and you too.
Good to meet you.
Hey, Close Look, I am here with Geeks vs. Nerds. Guys, how you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm fantastic.
Tell me a bit about what you guys do and what brought you here to the Vancouver Retro Gaming Expo.
All right, well, Geeks vs. Nerds is a comedy debate show. We debate some geeky topics like the Klingons versus Krogans from Mass Effect for who's the greatest warrior race in space, or something more lighthearted like Kermit the Frog versus Liz Lemon for who's best at running a chaotic variety show. So we're here promoting our show / podcast. We record it as a podcast and release it online, as well as just taking in the local video game culture, which I love to be a part of. And I'm in 4 different panels today doing different stuff. 2 of them passed. I'm halfway to home. I'm also running the video game trivia as well. So that's what I'm doing here.
As a content provider on a lot of these platforms, how do you feel about engaging with your audience and providing to such a young market?
Oh, I love it. It's great to see such enthusiasm for the stuff that I also had enthusiasm for as a kid. It's not that a young market. It's kind of all ages, to be honest. Yeah. But it is really cool seeing the kids get super excited about it. I particularly find it interesting with the trivia because I'm talking about games that happened with NES and Atari, and they're super passionate about it, and I don't understand why. I'm like, there's better games out now, objectively. Well, I mean, those are classics. They're fun to go back to, but when was the last time you booted up Q*bert or something?
Oh, God. Well, no, like the old Castlevanias, the Mega Mans.
Yeah, I guess so. I still play Sonic once in a while, so yeah. No, it's long story short, it's fun to be here because the people here are fun. Yeah.
How did you see this kind of turning into like a real thing from kind of its inception to now? Did you kind of see this maybe becoming more of like a full-time thing, or maybe just kind of like a Batman life where you just kind of come to this like a thief in the night?
Yeah, well, are you talking about the Expo or the show?
The show itself.
Oh, the show. Well, I've always had a bit of a theater background. I work as an animator now during the day, so my theater life is my Batman life. You are quite right. I put on my hat, I guess, that's my costume. And it really gives me a chance to just rant and rave about nerdy stuff on stage for a solid 2 hours. And I have fellow people on stage with me who argue back and forth. It's basically just those arguments you've had in your friend's basement just put on a stage. So it's really just like good to get all my nerd rage out. It's healthy, it's fun.
For all those young YouTube kids, like all the kids that are just wanting to like, yeah, I want to start making stuff and start creating content for an audience that is so wide and is so vast, do you have any advice for them or anything to kind of help inspire them to kind of just keep going with it? Because I know it can be a grind.
Yeah, I got 2 really good pieces of advice. One, actually do it.
Yes.
That's actually
that's the big one.
That's actually really hard. Ideas are a dime a dozen. It's actually putting in the legwork. Like, there's about 6 people who work behind the scenes on this show, and it seems like a small show until you actually have to do it, and then you have to do it. So as long as you're committed and going through and doing it time after time, that's the hard part. The other advice I'd give is start small. We're still very small as well, but there's no shame in playing to a very small, dedicated group of people and then getting bigger and bigger. A lot of people try to jump straight to big.
And you can't do that.
Nope, take baby steps.
Yep.
Baby steps.
Take the opportunity to grow. It's easier to start small and then adapt as you grow larger. And that's happened to, God, like everybody in the city.
It's happened to a lot of nerd events in Vancouver. Like this event itself started at a much smaller venue, and this is the first year at the Anvil Center, and it's awesome. We have leg room, which is great. You know, we're not brushing up, like squeezing next to some awkward spiky cosplay or something like that. But this is great, and I can only see this getting more and more popular. But baby steps. Yeah.
Lastly, where can we find you? What are your contacts? You know, YouTube, Twitch, maybe? I don't know. I'm just reading stuff from the pamphlet as I go. Because those are my baby steps. Research.
If you're in Vancouver, we do the show at 7 Dining Lounge. Check us out online, because we put them all out of podcast, like I said, at Geeks versus Nerds versus all spelled out. And you can check us out you can get links to our Facebook, our Twitter, all that through our website. So,
And the 7 Dining Lounge is on Alberta and Broadway.
And Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be sure to check these guys out. Close look. We're here at the Retro Gaming Expo.
And now all rise for the Canadian. Oh my God. Who's from Canada? Me!
I'm Johnny Staub.
And I'm Nira Aurora from 94.5 Virgin Radio.
And you're watching
Close Look.